Hi, and welcome back to the internet's #1 podcast on public library recommendations and holy stalactites. This is episode 209 of the Not Funny Guys presents Off the Reels. I'm Casey, and the two men across from me are Eric and Dr. John. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about The Dark Knight Rises. Or should I say,
let's talk about The Dark Knight Rises.
his muffled sound.
I see you're coming with jokes.
Why did I put it in the mask?
Why is his muffled mask sound clearer than any other dialogue in the entire movie?
That's because he's doing a better job than Christian Bale.
I didn't say he was understandable.
I will say it's more clear. It's because it's recorded after.
Yes,
it's because what he was doing on set wasn't working. It was too much.
Very likely.
So they had to go back and just do it like this.
Fun fact, it's not even his voice. They just got in a sound-alike to come in.
No, it's not.
I know.
Don't lie to our audience. That's not a fun fact. That's a fun lie.
It is a fun lie, but you can't prove it wrong or right. So there we go.
I think you really can.
Everyone
is still alive.
I'm going to call Tom Hardy right now.
Actually, I think the only person who can actually 100%
you just pick up like fuckers.
The only one I think who can actually confirm it would be Christopher Nolan, and Nolan doesn't have a cell phone, so he's not going to answer.
Yeah, but his four assistants probably have cell phones. I'm guessing you can get a hold of them.
Probably could. Christopher Nolan, come on, we want to talk to you about some movies and some choices that you've made with your career. Actually, I just want to come to the set of Odyssey.
Odyssey's done, my friend. There ain't no set to be sitting on anymore.
It ain't done until that bitch comes out in that movie theater.
That's fair. That's fair.
How's it going, Eric? What have you done this week? What have you watched this week?
So I don't know how much new I've watched in terms of movies. I'm thinking over my list. I don't know if there's anything. But
not counting what we have to watch.
There. Are you talking The First Omen?
No, The Punisher.
Oh yeah, okay. So that leads into kind of where I was going anyway, which was I did finish Daredevil, Born Again season 2. I did. I definitely felt it was a stronger season than the first Born Again season, but obviously they wrote it more cohesively because they could. Whereas the first one we know was kind of piecemealed through rewrites. The Punisher movie I watched, I was surprised by it. It is very good, but it's the end to me
that I'm like really? I don't want to spoil, but that ending, I was just like, that's how you're going to end this? Like, are you? It
was a full circle ending. I'll say that much, and that's why I think they did it. I will also say this: to me, the story made me think of like a freshman's writing assignment, right? The teen boy writing assignment, just angry, violent, and without much else to.
You better be careful because he wrote it, right?
I know he wrote it.
Okay,
and it's good, and he wrote it from a place where he has a deep understanding of this character.
Yeah.
However, this movie gives you no insight into the character other than it is a struggling PTSD-laced character.
It is one of those where you better have seen those Netflix shows. Because if you haven't seen those Netflix shows, good luck to you.
This is not a great reintroduction of the character for the Disney audience, though it certainly shows the Disney audience how violent it's going to be.
Which I appreciated that a little bit. I appreciate that it
killed a dog at the beginning. Jesus.
That was the moment where you're like, holy, and then the guy.
Yeah. And I don't think that's a spoiler because, hey, it's at the beginning. It's literally first 2 minutes.
Because obviously, if you kill a dog.
And it's not the Punisher who does it. It's not the Punisher, so we can say that.
Yeah. Well, I always.
Or Frank or both.
You can assume whenever like something like that happens, comeuppance will happen to that person.
Yeah.
And I felt
it was. Right? I feel like that's almost like an American requirement. You can't. Yeah. Hurt a dog without being punished for it.
Well, I feel like it wasn't just what he got. I felt he got off easy. I think that character deserved way worse than actually happened to them.
I would have liked to seen them thrown in front of a moving.
Yes, that's what I wanted too. That's what I wanted.
I will say that much. I would have been fine with that for their demise.
Not just a single tap. Like, I would have preferred more.
Oh, you only see the one because it's from their perspective.
True.
But thanks for not spoiling it.
Hey, I didn't spoil it. You don't know.
Look, it's a 45-minute romp of just guns and bullets.
Which I love the bodega
it's fine.
or the donut guy. I'm a fan of that actor, and like what happens with him, I thought was great.
I like that actor a lot. Actually, I agree. It's a weird story, but it actually kind of works for like a one-off. If this were like a one-off Punisher comic book, it would also kind of work.
I think it was based off. I don't think this was a mini. I think this was based off of just one of the one shots. I know the character in the book. She doesn't have arms or legs. In the book, she's missing. She's an amputee. She's just
the girl.
Yeah, she's just the torso. That's all that's left.
Interesting.
And bald.
Jesus.
She played it really well. I liked it's Angela from Who's the Boss.
Oh, the woman, not the girl. I thought you meant like the little girl in the donut.
No.
Like,
I'm talking about the woman.
That's
no, I'm talking about Ganucci.
Okay.
I think she played it well. My only thing is the way it ends, because you're like, oh, it's one less kill. He's gonna get that one less kill, and then it ends, and I'm like, wait a minute, is there a season that I don't know about coming up of this show? Like, where are you going with this? How is this leading into Spider-Man? Is that what he's actually doing? Is he trying to go after Mrs. Ganucci? Like, after this next point, like when Spidey finds him? Like, what's going on? Like, that's where I'm a little confused. Other than that, I really liked it a lot.
I will say this. I'll take back my introduction statement in terms of Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
This covers everything you really need to know about Frank Castle in order to move forward. Right? His family was murdered in front of him.
And thank God we didn't have to watch it again.
Thank God we didn't have to go through 20 episodes of it.
Yep.
He suffers from PTSD, mostly from his own troops and the feeling that he feels abandoning them or having stepped out or something like that. Right?
Why was the female one there? That one didn't make sense to me. That one was the weird. The rest of it made sense because they were all people he lost in combat. I don't understand the female.
Was it his wife?
No, remember it's another Daredevil character.
Oh, well, because she's also been involved with him. That was all like a season. I
understand, but she's not dead. That's why I was like, everyone else was the dead one.
So yes, but I think what that whole scene ultimately tried to convey was family's dead, suffering from a mental breakdown, partial PTSD, just partial visions. Right, he is mentally unstable. Essentially, is what they've conveyed.
He can do a hell of a hallway fight.
He is military. Still, and he has a history as a vigilante. All of that is settled in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you think of that, you don't necessarily need the other two seasons or whatever of the Punisher that we've had. This is kind of enough of this is a kind of like previously on, essentially, for us to be able to get the Disney Plus audience up to speed, but you don't really need anything more than that.
Oh, I agree. You don't need the other
stuff. In a way, it's almost a fine intro of the character, right? Here's a violent character we're introducing into the MCU.
No, I agree with that.
Which we've already had in the MCU, or just in the Daredevil world of MCU?
Just in the Daredevil world. Well, technically Moon Knight, but not to that degree of violence. And Echo. Echo was a little bit more of a violent show.
True. Okay.
Because there's the alley scene in Echo.
But Moon Knight was arguably one off at the moment, right? Because we haven't seen that character come out.
We have no idea because they're so cagey, and we have no idea.
I'm saying one off theoretically at the moment, right? Yeah. Maybe not intentionally, or whatever. So in a way, what we can say is that the Spider-Man movie will be Frank Castle's first jaunt into the MCU.
Yeah,
right? The true cinematic, the movies of Marvel at any point, right? Okay.
And I think Moon Knight's coming in will be whenever they get around to Midnight Suns, because there's rumors that's where they're shifting Blade is to do Midnight Sun. So it'll be Man-Thing, Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, Blade, and whatever other dark characters they.
I bet they'll launch that. There's rumors that
Ghost Rider would actually come in.
I bet they'll launch that in a one shot or like a special of some sort.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would. I don't think they would with Blade. If it was anyone else, because it's Blade.
Well, I think if they introduce Blade through that that avenue, I stand by my statement because that gives them reason to spin off Blade.
Oh, I think they'll just have him. I think you'll have the Midnight Suns hunting Blade and then find out that Blade's fine. So that's basically what you watched. I gotta move us on. Sorry.
Basically, yeah.
All right. All right.
We got all day, everyone.
We do. We do.
No one talked about my mustache is back, guys. I brought it back. I even kind of tried to do it the Harvey, the Jim Gordon style.
I was trying to not mention it and call attention to it, Mr. Lasso.
Oh, I like it. I miss it.
Mr. Lasso.
I've missed it, so I'm happy to have it back.
Well, I'm happy you watched Punisher.
I'm growing my beard back, but so.
Dr. John, what have you watched since last we spoke?
Well, I've actually watched two things. I've watched
three.
Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and I watched Inception. So I watched another Christopher Nolan film.
You hadn't watched Anchorman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought maybe I forgot to put I posted it.
Come back to Anchorman. Do the others first. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I gave Grogu and Mandalorian Grogu.
No, sorry, come back. Oh, I want you to come back to that one. I need to blow my nose. Go to the other two first. Sorry, I might have said
Inception.
Yeah, go to Inception first.
So I guess because I was watching other Christopher Nolan movies, it made sense to watch a Christopher Nolan movie. And no, I still like it. It's probably one of my favorite films, honestly. It's just a very well organized. I love the way he pays attention to the details of how things loop back, which we'll talk a little bit about in Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anchorman, just for the fun of it.
I really like Inception a lot. I'm very sorry to have a stopped up nose. I'm not feeling well, ladies and gentlemen. I really like Inception. I think Inception's one of his better movies.
That Interstellar are two of my all-time favorites.
Interstellar's good too, but I think Inception is probably might be his best.
I need to watch Interstellar again because I never got behind it. I was maybe one of the ones I was like,
Okay.
It wasn't bad, but I did not think of it as like one of his best by any means.
I think it's one of the ones I've watched the least. I've only seen it twice.
I'll tell you though,
it feels slow. I remember that.
But let me just say one thing. Even if you don't care for Interstellar itself, I will say it's probably one of Hans Zimmer's best soundtracks. Just the way he executes it. And I'll tell you even better about that one.
I'll put on that.
Okay, but one of the things I like about it is he specifically uses an organ from the Temple Church in London for most of that soundtrack, which makes it glorious. But I don't think any of his soundtracks are bad, so, I just happen to think that it has a particular taste to it that I really enjoy. Inception's the same way, though. So
I think his best, and I'm just confirming before I make this statement because now I'm paranoid. But I would have to say, okay, I'm not crazy. He did do it. No, I double checked to make sure. I just wanted to make sure. I think that his Pirates of the Caribbean is some of his best work. I also really like his work from True Romance. I think his True Romance
I know you do.
Stuff is really
My wife
good.
does too.
And I know you don't like the movie, but I think the score is solid. I think that his what he did for Da Vinci Code and all of those is actually a really solid score.
I don't think he does he doesn't really do a bad score.
No,
I just happen to feel. I mean, the one score that I will say, it's not his score. It's the way it is chopped up through the movie. The Man of Steel one is so good, but the way it's chopped up, it's chopped up in such a way that you might as well own the only part of that soundtrack that Casey owns, which is the Superman Suite.
Yes, the Superman Suite's the best part of it.
Suite. Yeah, because it takes his whole work together before we got chopped up in the movie.
His Spidey 2 is not that good. It's a lesser one for me. And I think his I actually don't really like the work that he did for the Dark Knight stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the way he and the other guy did. All right, Star Wars, Mandalorian, Grogu. Eric, you still have not watched it, right?
I have not seen it yet, no.
I won't say too much about it, but I gave it 3.5 stars. I know people who don't like it. I liked it, and the fact that I took my kids to see it, my two boys, they loved it. They really liked it. So
I've heard a lot of kids actually do enjoy it.
I think it's meant to kind of bring in youth.
Isn't that the point, right? Isn't it always the Star Wars is always a kids franchise ultimately.
Well, I saw an article. I think
yeah.
I sent it to you both, or maybe I just sent it to Eric. That was they were talking about Mandalorian and Grogu because it wasn't tracking to do very well. And they're like, oh, well, what is this? Like, what if it doesn't do well? Is this the end of Star Wars? And they're like, Mandalorian sells toys. We sell more Mandalorian toys than any other Star Wars toys. This movie can bomb at the box office. It will produce more toys that will sell.
Right.
And that's how they were kind of viewing this.
It feels nasty in its own
My
way.
thoughts, and Eric and I did talk about this, and I tried to be as carefree as I could, or spoiler free as I could with Eric. I think the action sequences are really good. I think that opening action sequence is fantastic. I
That's
really
excellent.
I don't feel there's really any stakes to this movie. Nothing moves the needle really. Although they've now come out and said a couple of things that one character in this, John will probably figure out which one, might be getting their own spin-off show. So there's one character on that could do it. That would be, I don't know how you would do that show. It'd be very weird. And then there's section in the middle of the movie that's about 20 minutes long is the where I was just like, this could have been 90 seconds. Like you didn't need to go as long as you did on this.
Fair
You
enough.
could have kept it slower. That's my only complaint. I give it a 3. Like I don't hate
It was like
It's
it was
lower.
it was like a supersized Mandalorian episode, like 3 episodes.
It actually felt like a
put
whole
together.
season. It felt like this was a
Oh,
season
man, yeah.
because it's about
Yeah.
the time that it would take you to watch a
Mm.
season. Except
Yeah.
for there was no real character growth in it. That was like the difference. Nothing really
No,
moves
I don't
for
think they were
Mando and
trying.
Grogu.
I don't really think. Well, I mean, you get to see a Grogu who's, shall we say, you can tell he's growing up a little bit.
Yeah, but they had
Also, by the way, they
do
got
one
Martin
thing.
Scorsese to do a voice in this film.
They also got Sigourney Weaver to come in here, and now she's kind of a pivotal character to Mando. Better come back in other shows.
Yeah, they should.
Like I don't understand how they're gonna do that a little bit. I don't hate
Well,
it. It's just a
we finally
lesser.
got to meet the real commander of the Delphi Squadron.
Yeah,
Basically, is what happened.
yeah. Again, I don't hate it. It's just a lesser for me. It's lower on the tier of things. I think the Mandalorian show is better than the movie. This is where I kind of sit. But I think as a bridge between season 3 and 4, probably a good bridge. I think it would. I probably would hold. I'd probably be a little bit more fair to it if it was a Disney Plus movie versus being in the movie theater. I think that's.
Well, they're also trying to do something with that. So.
I know. I'm just
They
afraid
gave you something very familiar and very popular.
I know. I'm just afraid it's going to just burn people. They're going to be like, Star Wars is back, and then they're going to go see it and then be upset. I would love to see.
I did enjoy Rada. I did enjoy his character.
Rada's fun. I would love to see a casual. I would love to talk to a casual Star Wars fan and see what they think of this movie. What's a casual person think? Someone who just has not seen.
Are you talking about a psychopath or just
someone who hasn't
seen
someone who hasn't seen Mandalorian? Someone who's just like I watch the movies that go to the movie theater and that's all I watch. I would like to know their thoughts on.
Well, they probably liked it better than the sequels.
Maybe. I don't know. I
honestly think, and I've heard this theory, I think that they're trying to use these movies to sort of either rehabilitate or slowly kind of slightly retcon their way out of the sequels. But
there's a lot of rumors that they're going to do another set of movies that will basically rewrite the sequels. Although there's a lot of rumors now that they're already starting on 10. So we'll have to see where they go.
Well, I mean, they could actually, what they could do here is they could actually backfill things in a way if they use like the Mandalorian and some of these other characters in that little mini post-Empire universe to kind of make the First Order make more sense.
Well, that's probably what they're going to do. They're probably going to do Clone Wars, like Clone Wars did with the prequels. They're going to make the prequels better because the Clone Wars made the prequels better because it filled in stuff and context. But if you didn't see Clone Wars, then the prequels were still what they were.
And in hindsight, against the sequels, they're not that bad.
This week I watched Punisher. That was the big one I did. But I also watched Thor with the 5-year-old. Decided we would move on to Thor. It starts off and literally in the opening minutes when you see the tornado open up like the bridge and they're driving into it. He looks at me and he goes, "Dad, are you sure this is kid appropriate?" this doesn't feel kid appropriate.
Okay, let me push back on that.
He's learning.
My 7-year-old, that would be exactly how we get my 7-year-old on board, because he loves disasters and weather phenomenon.
Oh,
so he'd be like, oh, this is what we're doing? Cool.
Oh, no, he was excited for it. He was just a little concerned. He thought it was a little weird, the deaths, like the sheer amount of violence and deaths during that opening battle.
Yeah, true.
He thought that young Thor looked just like him. He's like, he looks just like me, Dad. And I was like, you're not wrong there. He did not get why Loki was so mean. Like, that was like really tripping him up. He also, there's only one god, Dad. Why are you calling him the god of thunder? And why is Odin a god? Why is Loki a god? And I was like, before Jesus and before people believed in Jesus, there were other gods that were out there. And
Does Rachel know you're indoctrinating him with Jesus?
No, it's not me. It's the school actually that's doing it. Rachel would like that to stop. So anyway, I had to explain it, but he liked it. He really enjoyed it a lot. He paid like hardcore attention. He was very confused why Odin sent Thor to Earth, and I was like, he's in a timeout. And then he's like, oh, that's
there you go.
So he understood that little bit. He didn't understand how he wasn't worthy to hold the hammer. He's like, but it's his hammer. I was like, yes, but his dad said only someone who's worthy, someone who's a nice person can hold it. So that like tripped him up. But then once he started to piece together that Thor was becoming a good person and was going to get the hammer back. And then he gets the hammer back with the thing. The town like confused him. He's like, they're destroying this town. Can we go to this town one day? I'm like, it's not a real town. They made it for this movie. He's like, what? I was like, it's a set. It's not real. But he enjoyed it. He was ready to move on. Well, when Loki dies at the end, he was like, Dad, maybe Loki didn't die. Maybe Loki dropped off and he's just floating around looking for something and he's going to come back. And I was just like, you never know.
Wait till the end credits, kid.
And then he watched the end credits and he goes, Dad, Loki's back. I told you he wasn't dead. So he was excited. He was confused by the Tesseract, but he's like, can we watch Captain America now? Because he knows that's the next in the franchise. And I was like, actually, I'm thinking we're going to do Spider-Man 2. He goes, but no, Captain America's the next one. I'm like, I think we're going to do Spider-Man 2. So anyway, watch Thor. Still holds up. I really like Thor. It's a good movie.
Yes.
Also, one of my favorite scenes is when Volstag's at the window. Hi! Like, it just makes me that. And then I watched the things that we watched. I'm very excited to hear what Eric thought of the first Omen. We're going to talk about that on Wrestling with the Horror of It All, but we both watched that movie. And but we're just going to leave it there. We'll come back to that a little bit later. All right, let's jump into some movie news, shall we? Let's talk about some entertainment news. It's not a whole lot. Let's talk about the trailer we watched real quick. X-Men 97 season 2. Did it move the needle for you? Are either of you going to watch it?
Looks interesting.
I mean, I watched the first.
I need to finish
the
first season. So,
yes, you do.
I don't think I'll be rushing to each episode the minute it comes out. I will probably end up binging the season after they're all released.
I'll probably rush it, but it's because it's got Apocalypse in it, and I'm a huge Apocalypse fan, so I will probably do that. All right, well, there we go. That's that. Next up, we've got going through our news. I know I have nothing else on it. Look, I don't feel great. Fuck off. Speaking of Tom Hardy and fucking off, it appears that Tom Hardy was fired from Mobland season 3. Apparently he clashed with the producers, being consistently late to set and constantly giving notes and changing the dialogue in the series.
So he was doing a Simon Williams?
Yes. A Simon Williams to, I believe, Helen
Mirren. Yeah, but he was
Mirren.
actually hired first.
Yeah, I believe Helen Mirren's in the show, and there's another famous actor. I think, it's Pierce Brosnan. I think it's Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren. Oh. And he's basically being late to set with them constantly and changing shit. Now, there's a little bit of contradictory stuff that he hasn't officially been fired because they haven't actually renewed the show yet. And some people are saying he's committed career suicide by these behaviors. So, I don't know. I didn't watch Mobland. I just put the story here because it was interesting and it's got Tom Hardy. Mm. Neither of you watch Mobland?
Nope.
No.
All right. Next up, Toy Story 5 comes out soon, very soon. I want to say next week, but I might be wrong. Next week as of this recording going live, not when we're recording.
Oh,
okay.
real quickly here. Apparently, Helen Mirren has posted a picture in support of Tom Hardy about Love Him.
Oh, interesting.
So something to think about.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna
by the
be.
way, Toy Story 5, Joan Cusack made a rare public appearance.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She
And
hasn't
there
been
was
out in like 11 years.
a rare Tom Hanks and Tim Allen together. They don't normally get together very often. And they did for the press. Well,
On purpose, you think? Do they
I
not
think
like
it's
each
on
other?
I think it's on purpose,
Yeah,
but I
I've
don't
never
know.
heard that. Interesting.
So we did find out they are going to let Bullseye talk in Toy Story 5. I'm very excited because Bullseye,
The horse, right?
the horse, is going
Yeah.
to talk. He's
Oh,
going to be voiced by Alan Cumming, and I am down for that.
okay.
I'm down for it. And I hope that it means that we get some like Forky ask a question level shorts where it's just Bullseye and you just let Alan Cumming be this weird horse. That's what I really want. All right. Next
Yeah, all
up,
right. We'll see.
YouTube is starting a new internal system to identify AI generated content on their platform. If the I can move this down because I can read it. If the creator does not say that they used AI, our systems will detect significant photorealistic AI use, and we will automatically label it properly. And I agree with this. I hope they don't like go. Our backgrounds are AI generated, so therefore we're AI. But
Well, we can acknowledge that,
yeah,
and get around it, right? That's what it sounds
we
like.
do. Well,
We can
It's
say,
also not primarily our content, though.
well, that's I'll say. That's actually if you actually when you upload a video, there's actually a thing that's basically say, "Is this video
Yes.
AI generated?" That's what you actually say.
okay.
So that's
And technically, it's not because all we did was you were using an AI generated background. That's
right.
it. That's not any agent.
Yes, that's my feeling as well. We'll play it by ear, however they do it. But I'm good. I'm glad for this. There's so many videos out there, like sitting around with family, and they'll be like, "I watched this video. I don't know if it was AI or not, but I watched this video on the history of blah 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 blah." I'm like, it's probably AI. It's probably AI. So I'm glad that they're going to start flagging that. Good for them. Also, speaking of AI, an AI company, 11 Labs, has struck a deal and will for the voice and likeness of Stan Lee, so they can create him using AI. It will be added to a marketplace where various celebrity voices and likenesses can be generated with AI that companies can license for commercial use.
Is this the same company that's doing the Ozzy Osbourne that Jack Osbourne has been having to come out and defend?
I have no idea. I
Because
honestly
you
don't
guys
know.
haven't heard about the Ozzy Osbourne recreation?
Nope.
Apparently that's a thing too.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
There was one other little AI thing that I saw that I was like, good for them. Spielberg came out against AI, and he's like, AI can never create the human experience and the human soul. It should have no place in writing any dialogue or any scripts. It can be used to scout locations for us. Sure, save us time in scouting locations. It's just a tool, but it should never be used to replace the written word. So,
Thank you.
I agree.
Because it's garbage at it too.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It
Okay.
really is, folks. Please don't mistake that.
Yes. X-Men 97, we talked about the trailer for season 2. Season 4 is officially in development. They've said that they want to do one season a year, and I'm down for that. I think that's a good approach. Because there's so many stories you can tell with the X-Men, and that one can run for a while.
True.
And there's a lot of rumors that they might be doing bringing back Spider-Man the animated series, which would make me happy. Speaking
Would it,
of,
like beyond your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the one they did?
yes,
recently?
it would go back to the one from the 90s with from that because it ended on a cliffhanger. And so they can go back and just fill in stuff. And it was a well-beloved cartoon. There's also rumors they might do the Spectacular Spider-Man, bring that one back as well, which was also a fan favorite cartoon. So I'm down for as many Spider-Man cartoons as they want. You know, my kid loves Spider-Man. I'm happy to give him as much Spider-Man as he wants. Even though he gets confused with multiverses. He doesn't understand that little bit. He doesn't understand how Spidey and his amazing friends with Miles, or Spin, as they call him, which annoys me, Miles and Ghost Spider and Peter, he thinks they all live in the same world and that Doc Ock is a woman and like all these different things. I'm like, no, this is all a little multiverse thing. They don't all share the world. It's fine. So, but he likes that show and it introduces him to Marvel stuff. So that's all I can ask for. And they have Jeff the Shark on it, which makes me happy. Speaking of making me happy, I might actually watch Shrinking. Season 4 of Shrinking has just cast Karen Gillan and I might have to watch Shrinking now. Eric's like, I don't know who that is. She was Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy, but
No,
most
I
importantly,
recognize the name, but
Doctor Who.
Okay. I like Karen Gillan.
Who doesn't like her? And if you say you don't, you're lying.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of liking things, a little game came out the week we were recording this. It came out on Tuesday, I do believe. It is called 007 First Light. In 24 hours, it sold 1.5 million copies. It is being raved as one of the best James Bond video games ever made. That they go back and they don't tie themselves to the books. They don't tie themselves to the movies. It is, you start off on the first time. The first mission is James Bond working for the Navy, and MI5 or MI6, whatever the fuck the agency is. They notice him, and then there's a cutscene of the recruiting, and then the next level is the whole recruitment level and training level to get accepted. And then the next level is starting his first mission, and you're playing really through his first mission to get him to the 007 status. And everyone's raving about it, says that it's fantastic. They don't use any.
So the gameplay is just as good as that trailer thing I saw.
Yes, everyone. The gameplay is basically supposed to be just as good as the Hitman games, which the last 3 Hitman games are fantastic, and I love them. It was like playing the James Bond game anyway, so I'm very excited for it. They give you lots of open ideas on how to do a mission, and then whenever they need to funnel you down a specific path, then they'll do that just for story. Apparently their Q is really good, their M is really good, no likenesses, they're doing their own thing while making it feel like James Bond. So very excited. One day I'll pick this game up and play it, because again, I really like the Hitman games. They're beautiful, and I really like being able to run down a hall and pick up a fire extinguisher and throw it at someone's head to knock them out. Also, rat poison. Best way to kill someone in that game, rat poison. Just take some rat poison, go up to their drink, put a little in, and walk away. They'll drink the drink, they die, you complete the mission. Easy peasy. Love that. All right.
Okay.
Next up, last story. This one's for Eric. I know that Eric is... Well, he is the biggest Rambo fan that I know. He loves Rambo so much.
Oof.
Well, Eric...
Is that why you made us watch it?
Do I?
Yes, you do. The new Rambo prequel movie will release on June 4th, 2027.
I was hoping you'd say 29, and that way we could just hope for apocalypse.
No. 2027. It'll be the last movie you see, though, because that's when AI will become sentient and will take you out. That's news as we see to print. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably wondering, what can I watch? What can I watch this week? What is coming out the week of June 5th? Well, you can go see Another World. You can see The Birthday Party. You can see Signal 1. Or, as I've now learned, Langus 1. That's a whole thing with a Vince McMahon lawsuit that's happening. If you didn't know, whenever they were trying to let each other know, hey, I got some secret shit I need to tell you, Langus. And that was your key word to know. Go to Signal. Go to Signal.
Oh my gosh.
Signal backwards. I know, it's so dumb. I wish I was making this shit up. It's true.
Sounds like a sexual act, to be quite honest.
Go look at the court filings. Anyway, Signal 1, Chum, Power Ballad with one of the Jonas Brothers. I don't know. They all look alike to me. I don't know which Jonas brother it is. And Power Ballad. Scary Movie. If they don't make fun of the fact that it's called the same thing as the first movie, they are missing the mark.
They do.
They better. They better. Anyway, Scary Movie 2026, and the movie that's going to sweep the nation, Masters of the Universe. I already have my tickets. I'm going to the fan event on Wednesday, gentlemen, with the family. I'm taking the family to the fan event, 7 p.m. I cannot wait. I'm down to watch this movie. Apparently, I was watching a review for it. The reviewer was like, look, I know everyone's worried this is going to be just on Earth. He's like, it's 15 minutes of a 2-hour and 12 movie. 15 minutes of it's on Earth. The rest of it is all in Eternia. And I'm here for it. Apparently, Jared Leto's Skeletor is fantastic and steals the show. Of course, you don't ever see Jared Leto. It's just Skeletor. And they said he's just as bitchy as he is in the cartoon.
Just let him be. Just let him be a voice actor behind like all kinds of things, and we'll be fine.
Agreed. I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait. But if I wanted to find some He-Man materials, like some books on, like how did they make the cartoon, or the guides to the cartoon, or some of the old trade paperbacks, where would I go to find those, Eric? Oh, I guess we go to Silent World is where we'll go to them. Nope.
Mute.
Now we hear you.
There you go.
Where do we go, Eric?
My internet connection is unstable, according to Zoom. So here goes nothing. I would say that you, Casey, would have to go a little bit south, while John and I get to go a little bit north, me less so than John. And that's going to be to New Jersey, specifically Millburn, New Jersey, for the Millburn Free Public Library. As long ago as 1873, Stuart Hartshorn had established a reading room. Later, Mrs. Hartson and a group of ladies had made another effort. And in the 1930s, Frederick J. Clark willed his personal library to the town as a nucleus for a library. So in 1935, the Junior Service League appointed Mrs. W.S. Auchincloss. Oh man, I'm sorry. Auchincloss, chairman of a committee to establish a reading room in the Recreation House in Taylor Park. 2,000 books were donated by citizens, and the project was abandoned in 1936 for lack of help and cooperation from the public. And the books were stored at the Paper Mill Playhouse. Remember that place, folks. Later, a meeting was held there, and the Millburn Library Association was actually formed, supported by private subscriptions, but the library was still not available to enough families. So, however, it was that establishment an important first step forward for it had the effect of arousing the citizens to an awareness of the need for a library, a free public library specifically. So public-spirited citizens took up the battle, and the question was at last put up to the voters in November 1983, that election, and the question was finally settled. The first library building was located in a small house, which has since been raised, at an intersection of Brookside Drive and Old Short Hills Road at the time. That house had been a private home, then Cornell's Butcher Shop, and then it was an ownership passed to the township, becoming the first library. And so that was 1938. Over the years, the library grew, and in 1952, $97,000 was appropriated by the township committee to renovate a structure at the corner of Essex Street and Lackawanna Place, the original home of the Congregational B'nai Israel BNAI Israel. And that was a memorial library when that happened. So in addition to the township appropriation, donors contributed another $80,000. And in September of 1954, the doors were opened at the new library. The building at the corner of Essex and Lackawanna Place remained in service until 1976, when the present Glen Avenue facility was opened. That facility, the Glen Avenue facility, was opened, like I said, 1976 roughly. That is now the Millburn Library, if you will. And it was featured in a very classic TV show, the first episode of a classic TV show, Reading Rainbow. It appeared in its very first episode in June of 1983. A jump ahead a little bit, 2000, the Millbury Library joined the BCCLS, or the Bergen County Cooperative System, library system, which at the time consisted of 68 libraries when it joined. It's now at 77, and it contains them in Bergen, Essex, and Passaic counties. BCCLS membership allowed Millburn patrons to request items from any other BCCLS library. You see that a lot in many other states as well. And then from late 2021 to early 2022, Millburn Library underwent major renovations. Library services did continue at a temporary location in town, but ultimately the children's room was expanded and remodeled, and the pre-existing teen space was moved under the mezzanine into a new glass enclosed teen room, along with many other changes. The glass enclosed teen room does kind of make it look like we're trying to study them, so just keep that in mind. Now, as you know, with our Batman series, at least, I have been trying to make sure that our library ties into our hero of the movie. However, this is the third Batman movie, so it's no longer me talking about Batman, but rather the unexpected hero of the movie, in a way, Catwoman. So Anne Jacqueline Hathaway, and I chose Anne, by the way, over Joseph Gordon-Levitt or Robin, as Joseph Gordon-Levitt was born almost just like 20 blocks down the street from where Kevin Costner, where our Batman Forever Batman was born. And
Val
so
Kilmer?
yes, thank you. I don't know why I said Kevin. From Val Kilmer. So it would have been very much a retread in many ways. So Anne Jacqueline Hathaway was born on November 12th, 1982, in the Brooklyn borough of New York City. According to the Daily Telegraph, she was named after William Shakespeare's wife. She is of Irish, English, and German and French descent. Her father, Gerald, was a labor attorney, and her mother, Kate Macaulay, or eventually Kate Macaulay Hathaway, is a former actress. When Hathaway was 6 years old, the family moved to Melbourne, New Jersey, which is where she was primarily raised. So at the age of 8, Hathaway watched her mother perform in the first national tour of Les Mis, and her mom played Fantine. So she instantly became fascinated with the stage at that time, supposedly. But her parents were not keen on allowing her to pursue an acting career. So Kate quit acting to raise Anne Hathaway after this. And her brothers and her brothers. Hathaway was raised a Roman Catholic in what she considers to be really strong values and wished to be a nun during her childhood. But acting was always a high priority for her. Her relationship with the Catholic Church changed at age 15 after learning that her older brother was gay. Her family then left the church, joining the Episcopal Church because of its acceptance of homosexuality. But ultimately, they eventually left that as well. It doesn't say what she's gone on to be since, not that it matters. She graduated from Melbourne High School, where she played soccer and took part in many plays. And later, she appeared in the plays Jane Eyre and Gigi at New Jersey's Paper Mill Playhouse. So she is connected to that library more than she may know. So the regular hours you can get to Melbourne Free Public Library, they are 7 days a week. Woohoo! So let's start with Sunday. Sunday they are open 1 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. Yes, you will notice they are on the quarter hour in a lot of these cases. Monday through Thursday, you can get there between 9:30 a.m. And you have to leave at 8:45 p.m. And then Friday and Saturday, just a little bit truncated from the rest of the week. 9:30 a.m. you can still get there by. However, you got to get out by 5:15 p.m. So that is your hours for the Melbourne Free Public Library. And for those of you keeping me honest at home, I don't think I did it already. The zip code there is 07041 in Melbourne, New Jersey, at the Melbourne Free Public Library, which hopefully has a copy of The Dark Knight Rises on tape that you can go and rent. Now back to you, Casey.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. And I forgot to mention something that's very important. With Masters of the Universe coming out on Friday, the longest time you could not get a digital copy of Masters of the Universe, but it has magically been put onto iTunes as of last Thursday. It is now there. I have not purchased said movie yet because I have a feeling that on Tuesday it will be on discount for the new movie coming out. If not, I will be paying the full $14.99 price so that I can have a digital copy and watch that before I go see that movie because it is a fantastically bad movie. That's right, fantastically bad. It's nostalgia kicking in, baby. That Skeletor,
with an interesting
though,
cast.
fantastic.
With an interesting cast.
Yes, that Skeletor's fantastic, and that Evil Lyn sexually awakened a lot of people.
I was talking more about the Friends, Star Trek Voyager, Back to the Future cross-reference.
There's that as well.
Yeah.
All right, now, Dark Knight Rises came out on July 20th, 2012, PG-13, runs 2 hours and 44 minutes. Nolan, I love you, man, but this one could have used some little bit of tightening up, I think. Budget, the last budget, or for this whole franchise, let's just do Batman Begins was 150, then it was 185. This one was $250 million to do this particular
Well,
movie.
he wanted to make sure he got the money's worth.
That's right. Now, U.S. gross of the first one was 207 million. Dark Knight was 535 million. Dark Knight Rises was 448 million. I have thoughts on why that is, and we'll come back to that shortly. Batman Begins globally 376 billion for Dark Knight and a billion for Dark Knight Rises. So still made its money. Excuse me. Now,
Nice.
Let's do a little bit of some Abacus awards here. The Abacus Awards are where I give them a no prize, and they get no prize for doing this. It's just self-respect. That's all they get for this. Dr. John is currently in the lead with 22 points, and Eric is at 18 points. Let's see if Eric can start to tighten up this lead, shall we? Where in the top 10 of 2012 worldwide box office does this movie sit? And I will be very, very nice on this one instance. Number one is Avengers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I will be very nice. I will be very nice. Eric, Dr. John?
Worldwide, you said?
Worldwide. I'm going to lock it down in 3, 2, 1. 5. All right.
I'll say 2.
All right. Neither of you are right. It's number 3, but Eric was the closest. All right.
Do I get a point?
Nope. This one wasn't financial. I'm not giving it. And
what was number 2 then?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it wasn't this one. I didn't write them all down. Because I got to move on to the next one. This movie had Bane in it. Can you tell me, for 2 points, what year did he first appear, and what is the issue called?
I want to say, gosh, it's like Batman 800, and it's like 1994, 1995. That's what I
We'll
remember.
pick a year.
95.
All right, Eric?
Really? I want to say earlier than that. I want to say 19.
Yeah.
I'll say 1985. I want to almost go to the 70s.
Okay, and do you want to take a shot at what the issue is called?
What the issue is called, or what the number is?
It can be the same thing. Batman 800 would be what you'd call the issue.
Lame.
I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you how.
I'll say then Batman 10 years earlier. Batman 500.
All right. Neither of you get it.
Yeah.
It was Batman: The Vengeance of Bane was a one shot, his first appearance, and it's 1993.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Yep.
Earlier,
all right.
Newer than I thought.
I think I was thinking of a different thing, but that's fine.
Can you tell me what event happened on opening day of this movie?
I'll wait because I know the answer, so I want John to lock in his first.
Okay.
What was the date again? The opening of the movie?
July 20th, 2012.
I don't know, so
give me anything then.
The Democratic National Convention.
DNC. Eric, would you like to tell Dr. John what it is, since you are so confident?
There was a shooting at the theater in Colorado. I forget the gentleman's name, but he had like orange hair.
Joker Boy.
And it scared off in probably a lot of viewership, but he shot up. Yeah, Colorado, I remember. And yeah, that's the event, sadly.
That is the
so
event.
American.
I had to include, we had to talk about it, and I thought this was the best way to kind of to do it.
I figured to me, I remember this from the moment you said, I have an idea why it didn't make its money back, so to speak.
I think the shooting scared people away in America for this.
This was the first major movie theater shooting, if I'm not mistaken.
And I've heard theories that's why they don't do midnight showings anymore. I don't actually buy that. I don't think that's why they don't do midnight showings anymore. I think they don't do it because they can do a 7 and a 9 and a 10 p.m. on the day before and make more money than they would. Also, you get more people to come to a 7 p.m. showing than do for a midnight showing. So I think that's really the reason. I don't think it has anything to do
Sure.
with the shooting, but yes, that is unfortunately. I believe this is a Dylan Roof, but I don't.
No,
I said this isn't
no, it's not
Dylan
Dylan.
Roof.
Oh.
It's the name that pops in my head. It's the guy, orange hair. There was misconceptions that apparently it's been proven to be false that he called himself Joker when he was arrested. That's been proven false. He did not do it. And Aurora, Colorado.
James Egan Holmes.
There you go. And I believe he's rotting in jail right now.
Good.
So anyway, that is the unfortunateness of that. Eric, you have gotten one step closer. Will you be able to bridge the gap? I don't know.
He killed 12 people, and he's serving 12 consecutive life sentences.
Yep. This movie was directed by Christopher Nolan, written by Christopher Nolan, Jonathan Nolan. Music, this time only Hans Zimmer. He is not with James Newton Howard this time. The cast is sit back and enjoy a beer because it's going to take a minute. Christian Bale as Batman, Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, Tom Hardy as Bane, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Robin, Anne Hathaway as Selena, Marion Cotillard as Miranda, Talia al Ghul, Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, Michael Caine as Alfred, Matthew Modine, or Modine, I don't know why it's pronounced.
Modine.
Well, it auto-corrected the spelling. Anyway, Matthew Modine as Foley, Ben Mendelsohn as Daggett, Bern Gorman as Stryver, Aidan Gillen Littlefinger as CIA op, Nestor Carboni as the mayor, Brett Cullen as the congressman, Juno Temple as Jean, Glenn Powell as Traitor Number One.
Also weird to see.
Yep. Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, Cillian Murphy returning as Scarecrow, and Christopher Judge
Dr.
from
Crane.
Stargate as Mercenary Security Officer Number 3.
So that was him. I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah.
And the main one of the main guys who comes into I forget, from the FBI or CIA or whatever.
Oh yes,
I forget. Face.
Yes, he's from.
He's
Rescue
now.
Me.
He's also on
another cop show that Rachel watches.
Yeah, High Potential.
Yes, Rachel watches that, but I didn't know his name. I don't know his name, and it didn't pull up enough. It didn't pull up enough on IMDb for me to be able to flag it.
He was in Rescue Me.
You miss it, but he plays very much.
Me.
He's very much the same character as High Potential in a lot of ways.
He's better in Rescue Me though, from what I've seen of High Potential, because he got to be funny in Rescue Me, and he doesn't seem to have a sense of humor in.
That's kind of his character,
yeah. Anyway, this movie starts off with the Harvey Dent funeral yet again. Did you notice the aerial shots? It looks like a smiling face when they do it's actually at the end when they do the statue. Actually, when they pull the statue cover off, and it's an aerial shot of that same room, and there's two podiums, and then chairs lined up in a circular, like a smiling pattern, and then Batman's the nose. A lot of people say it's like a nod to Joker, whether it is or not. I like the Littlefinger scene. This was the preview scene that they showed in IMAXs to get people hyped for the movie. I don't remember what movie it was. It might have been, was it Inception? There's some big movie. They were like, if you go see this movie, you could watch like the first 5 minutes of Dark Knight Rises.
It might have been because Inception was in as well before then.
And it was where they changed Bane's voice. Because the original one, he was a little more approachable, you call yourself. And then they adjusted the voice after that. After fans were like, what the fuck did he say? I don't understand. What is life?
I was born in it.
I was born a poor little... Okay. I think Krennic is great. I forgot Krennic was in this movie. I didn't know him at this point in time.
Daggett.
Playing Daggett. And Juno Temple, I did not know was in this movie. That one shocked me. Like when she pops up, I was like, Juno Temple? And I looked like, oh, it is Juno Temple.
Wait a minute.
Still looking hot with her frizzy hair. And then Glenn Powell was another one. I was like, what the fuck? Glenn Powell's in this shit?
I remember Glenn Powell. That was all. I remember that getting talked about recently when he started breaking out. Someone made a joke. It's like, hey, didn't you get like one of your first big movies where people noticed you as like Dark Knight? And he's like, Rises. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I was this random guy who said that.
Yeah, Glenn Powell was about the moment I was like, is everyone in this movie? Like everyone who's going to be famous in 10 years from this movie in this movie?
Yes. Because Christopher Nolan's doing it, and that's how things work in Hollywood. He puts you in a movie, you become a star.
That's right.
There you go.
Chris, I'm waiting for my call. I'm waiting right now. I really like
And you coach keep waiting.
I really like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. I think
she is
really good.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
She really hits it. I think this is probably the best Catwoman. As in terms of a burglar. Like a skillful
from a character perspective.
Socialite, not a villain. Like I don't want to say anything bad about, Michelle Pfeiffer. She had a very specific type of Catwoman, but this one is very much in the kind of
this one you can buy that she's the world's greatest, one of the world's greatest thieves.
Yes,
like you can buy
exactly. That. Well, it makes me think, they definitely read their Long Halloween, their their Dark Victory stuff. They read that, they understood it.
I mean, this is clearly based on Nightfall and No Man's Land. I mean, this is clearly based on those two stories.
Yes.
There are times I like his Bane, and there's times I don't like his Bane. I think for the most part, his Bane is fine. It's because his Bane's really smart. And I like that they do tie him to the League, which he was a member of the League originally, and then he was kicked out of the League. I'm glad they stayed away from the poison, but they do put the mask on him as like it's a respirator thing. But there's parts of me where I'm like, I also don't like your Bane. Like, there's like some of his looks, I'm like, like it would have been nice if you looked a little different. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Bane? While I cough.
I mean, I agree with you on that. I mean, there are moments I really enjoy this interpretation.
Yeah.
I liked him. I think full and full. I mean, think about the last time we saw him in a movie, which was, Batman and Robin.
Comparatively, you're very right.
And this is a far better representation of what Bane can be, in my opinion. Is it the perfect Bane? I don't know if you're ever going to get a perfect anything, right? I think I tried to put this, obviously I'd seen this movie before, so I knew some of the twists coming. And so I tried to put this into the perspective of he is still a servant too, right? In the way that Batman and Robin ish, he was servant to Poison Ivy. Here he is servant to Talia al Ghul, right?
Which I don't mind that little bit. I like the twist.
But I think that helps me accept his actions a little bit more and see his actions a little bit differently, where maybe the only time I get frustrated is kind of the Talia goodbye to him, where you don't, that's the first time you see that maybe he has a crush on her, likes, like that. There's more.
Let's not go down that really weird, awkward path, because also their age, they're probably got to be close to the same age in real life, right?
Oh, Tom Hardy and
like they've got Marion Cotillard. I think they're like close to the same age.
Probably,
yet this movie implies that he's at least 10 years older than her. So it gets a little. If you really start to think about it, it gets a little bit wonky and weird there, because he does feel like he's in love with her, and you're like, is there something you need to tell us, Bane? Are you on a list?
What I will say is, like,
I think he loves her in a very paternal way.
They're 2 years apart. He's 77, she's 75.
But it does give the impression to me that Bane would be like his 40s, and I could see her being portrayed as early 30s.
I could see that.
Even though at the time they were both probably mid-30s.
The problem, though, is when they show him, it's clearly just regular day Tom Hardy in the prison scene when they actually show him. I can gloss over the little bit where it does seem like he loves her, but it is just a little weird when you really think about it.
It would have been better to have shown that, like, the caretaker of this child was only a couple years older, right? Was only, someone who just essentially a big brother, right? And to have made that more of a connection somehow, because they try to do all these like misdirects, and that's the point to some extent, but I almost wish you didn't have Talia al Ghul in some regards, but I get why you do.
I kind of agree with you on that. It does feel out of left field.
You could have cut time.
It is one of the nice little bits of the misdirect and the surprise, the twist.
She's there to drive Bruce's story more than she's there to drive the villain story. Yes. And I think that's part of the problem. By the time she becomes the villain, as we know, it's pointless to have her.
I mean, honestly, what would have been best is if in this one, you don't find out she's Talia. Or maybe the audience finds out she's Talia, but that's only the audience finds out. And the one time that we see them sleep together, then in a fourth movie, we find out she gave birth to Damian Wayne. That would have probably...
There was never going to be a fourth movie, though. I think Christopher Nolan was like, I'm done.
Yeah, Nolan was done.
And honestly, this is a great ending for his trilogy, where it does end.
Well, it has a very philosophical kind of element to it, because everybody's being told that they now have complete freedom, which is total chaos, but it's a lie to cover for the fact. And I love there are like hints of the French Revolution written all over this film.
Sure.
Very much so. Particularly if you've ever read Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Because that kangaroo court, what's his name? Crane is overseeing. Most of the time you see Bane sitting in the back, he's doing a Madame Lafarge. He's like sewing at one point. And then, of course, we get the famous lines at the end. But the lines themselves are part of a misdirect. This is why I do think Bruce survived.
Well, since you bring up Bruce surviving, also I do appreciate what's the phrase? It's death or
exile.
Exile or death. All right, give him death. Give him exile. There's a slim chance you could have made it through the exile. Also, it wasn't snowing and frozen when you broke the bridges. How long were we there? Because
it's been months.
Right,
yeah, 5 months. You had 5 months.
Yeah, but still, it felt.
There's a lot of exposition you have to pay attention to, which is part of it. But yeah, you have 5 months, right? You have 5 months, and then I think it even acknowledges another line says like it's been 4, right, or something like that. So.
I never noticed Bane in the background of the court. I never once noticed that.
I did. I saw him.
That's
an interesting nod.
Can you hear the? Sorry,
no.
I can't hear anything. You can't hear the leaf blower outside my window. Good.
No. No, but like, so for example, this is why I think so.
Well, before you say, before you say, I just want to ask one question. Then I want you to tell. You're going to go first. Okay. Yes or no? Are you a yes? Eric, yes or no? Did Bruce actually survive? What was the inception point at the end for you? Did he survive or not? Did the top fall over?
Yes, he survived. Bruce Wayne is alive.
I go back and forth and think that maybe he didn't, but there are too many lines that kind of indicate that maybe he did. All right, Dr. John, why did he survive?
Let me give you why I think. And if we're playing off the Tale of Two Cities, in the finals thing, it is Charles Darnay who is supposed to be executed. Sidney Carton, who's kind of a deadbeat lawyer who happens to love the same woman as him, but she's married to Darnay, takes his place because he looks similar to him. This is the Batman. Batman is dead. Bruce Wayne is not. That's what I'm saying here. He takes his place, and they read from his final lines before he goes. He says, I see a beautiful city and a brilliant people rising from this abyss. It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest I go to than I have ever known. And more importantly, the fact that if you did die, fuck you for what you did to Alfred.
All right, Eric, why do you think he survived?
I just do. I don't know.
All right.
Also, he fixed the autopilot.
Like, yeah, he fixed the autopilot. He's written notes. He's seen in the cafe, right? There's a.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know if we've seen the cafe. That's the one piece because
I don't use that.
Yeah, because Alfred goes, when he's telling Bruce, every summer I would always go to this particular cafe and I would hope to find you and hopefully see you. But we don't actually get 100% confirmed that he actually is. That could have just been Alfred seeing someone who looks similar.
But
that one's harder.
No. So the first time when Alfred says that, right? Yeah. It actually shows an image of it being not
someone
Bruce.
Else,
right.
Yes.
By the time in the end, when it shows him, it is Bruce, who gives him that little wink and nod with Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, Selena Kyle, there as well.
I know, but here's why I didn't choose that.
I
chose to provide evidence for why that's real. No. My attempt, what I was trying to push was the idea that what Alfred sees is real. not a fake.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to steel man the idea that that's not a misdirect, which we know no one likes to do.
See, I think when I originally watched this movie, I thought it was a misdirect. And part of me still says that the Alfred scene is a misdirect. The piece that ties it to me in the movie that actually says, okay, he's got to be alive is the whole the autopilot. But sir, the autopilot was fixed
by Bruce Wayne.
So that's the one where you're like, okay, but then where did
I
he
didn't
get
realize
out?
it was. I didn't realize it was a debate. I thought it was just obvious he lived.
No, that's an actual debate that people have all the time.
No,
it's silly.
The same way why people talk about the debate about the top, whether it falls over. Yeah. By the way, which Michael Caine has actually said, if you see me in the scene, it's the real world. So he has kind of confirmed that he did make it out. Cobb. I can rewatch that.
I can believe that. Oh, I mean, are you talking about Inception though? If you see,
I know about Inception. Yeah. Sorry. Since Michael Caine is both that way, Michael Caine has actually said, if you see me in the scene, that's the real world, not a dream.
See, and
he never appears in the dreams.
In Inception, I actually think that they did get out.
You're watching it recently?
I rewatched it. Yes, he's there. And I take Michael Caine at his word. Scenes? He's never in dream sequences.
I think Inception, they do get out. That's my thought on Inception.
There we go.
We can watch that movie one day if you want.
Oh, no, we should.
We're talking about a different one where I never thought it was a question whether Batman lived. I thought this was always
I don't know how
case.
You didn't know that wasn't a real thing. Like that's an actual...
I mean, I could see why you
debate.
I could see why you would try to make it a debate, but to me, it takes a lot of work to try to think that he doesn't live versus just watching the movie as it plays out, in my opinion, which proves he lives, in my opinion.
Well, I again, it's the Lucius Fox line that kind of starts to solidify that he has to get out. Either that or they threw that line in for no reason, which is always.
I do think that he essentially faked his death, right? He
totally faked his death. He faked his death. He
purposely died and purposely killed Batman.
Well, he used the clean slate as well to wipe himself.
The bigger to me question that should be arising versus is he alive or not is. Does Robin go on to take over the Batcave and become a new Batman?
Possibly.
Or
I think he becomes
Nightwing?
I think he would become Batman.
You think
I think because Batman is an idea and cannot die. I think he would also.
But Batman literally is dead. Wouldn't it be just as wise to pull and create a Nightwing?
But Batman's an idea.
Batman's also an idea that already exists as currency.
Yes. And also,
but is Batman an idea? Is Batman an idea as a character or as a superhero? In which case, to create another spin-off, you could say the idea lives, even if Batman is still a symbol of sacrifice.
In this world,
it's a fight for justice.
Kind of both in this world.
Okay. It's a fight for justice. It's a belief that
I can accept it.
I don't know stand up and do the right thing.
Also, I would like to point out. Robin is not filthy rich, and he was only given a bag to get into the Batcave. He was not given money. He cannot sit there and fund a new Robin suit.
That is true. That is true.
Unless Lucius Fox is going to help him somehow, which is always possible.
I mean, Lucius Fox seems as invested in this as Bruce was by this movie, especially.
Yes. I do like when he's at the
Since
doctor.
It was Lucius who was mad at Batman and walked away, and by the time this movie starts, he's like, actually, I kept working on some shit.
Yeah. Let me show you all this shit.
I know you're retired, but come with me.
I think that Lucius and Bruce Wayne, I think Bruce Wayne understood that Lucius would always keep tinkering, and Lucius always knew that Bruce Wayne would come back to be Batman.
That's why Lucius is very realistic to me, because
they have a healthy understanding.
He's believable to me because creators never stop tinkering with their own shit. They constantly tinker.
Oh God!
Good creators. Well, but hold on. Good creators know when you actually have to stop.
Yes.
And if you have new ideas, you just take those ideas to new things. Lucas is a bad example of you never stop tinkering. No, George Lucas is a bad idea of you never stop tinkering as a creator. Lucius Fox is a better example of never stopping as a tinkerer. When I think
there's something to be said that as a tinkerer or as a builder, once you've launched it, it's launched, especially from an art perspective and the arts world. There's no need to go back and iterate on your previous artwork.
Right.
Simply create a new. I will agree with you there.
Yeah. And I think that's the nice thing about it. Lucius just feels like, oh yeah, of course Batman might have stopped, but that doesn't mean that Lucius ever stopped building things like the
I'm
Bat
Batman.
and 5 other tumblers for some strange reason. Why did just make a better version of the tumbler? Although I do like the more I think about it, the bat cycle thing, when it is like when it's driving like a motorcycle, it's fine. But when it does the turn and the wheels start spinning, it has to be the most uncomfortable thing because those wheels have gun turrets on them. So every time they turn, the gun turret is turning.
No, the gun turrets don't turn.
Are you sure?
They're attached to the chassis. Only the wheels turn, and they turn in a motion that's designed to kill the momentum and bring you back to neutral position.
Yeah, but it looks.
So if you look at the way they spin, they actually spin oppositely of each other to create that.
No, that I got, but it looked like the whole front section turns, not just
it's still probably not comfortable because it's gonna be.
I know it's gonna be very, but it's also like when it goes up the wall, it's like that's gonna be uncomfortable.
I don't know that the superheroes are worried about the comfort level of fighting crime.
No, but here's the thing: Bruce understands how to ride this thing. Selena, he just goes
picks it up very fast,
right, and then knows how to do that turn without killing herself.
I think that turn is probably instinctual in the sense of like the
it's probably automatic in the system.
Yeah, instead of the system saying, "Oh, I'm
yes,
wheeling,"
but how would she know that
the effort?
I get that it might be instinctual into the system. How did she know it could do that? Because a normal motorcycle can't. So you have to at least understand that this machine can do said maneuver. She just magically picks it up. She's really smart.
Well, by the time we see her, she's been driving that thing up into that scene
for like 2 hours.
She could have taken the first corner back. What the fuck?
I would love to see that cutscene. Like, what the fuck is happening? Also, the way you ride it is also very weird. You ride it like a Tron cycle, if you noticed. It's very weird how you ride it.
Lay down.
Yeah, this weird lay down position. All right, what are y'all's any other thoughts you want to talk about of this movie? The whole like
it definitely has a pacing issue at times, and I think it gets in its own way with the Talia stuff, as I kind of said. I like it otherwise. I mean, it's still a great movie. It's still a great Batman story. It's still a great Gotham story, which I think we've kind of seen has been his MO in terms of telling these Batman movies has been a large, Gotham as one of the main characters in each of these movies.
Well, let's get into it. What are your
I like that it brought up
review and stuff.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought that's what you're asking.
Well, I mean the movie in general, but yes.
I forget my rating. I want to say I gave it 4.5 stars. It's not it's not The Dark Knight, but it is The Dark Knight Rises, and it has a lot of great qualities. I love the Bane character. I think it works well. I think it tells some interesting ideals. It pushes back on some anti-capitalist stuff in a way. In its own Gotham way. Like I said, Gotham is a major character.
Yes.
I think now
it's New York City.
At every standpoint, they've been trying to make it. It was weird. That. Yeah, I didn't love that. But I see why they did it for the bridge aspect. Yeah, to be able to have that aspect. Yeah, I thought it was a great movie. I think it's another one of those moral stories from Batman. Obviously, Nolan has taken on corruption in each of these in his own fashion. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this does a bad job. It just does a bloated job of showing that. And that's my main note, is that it's a little bloated. It gets in its own way. It has too much to do. And at the same time, I don't know how you get the same story without showing all that you did. So
right.
It's good. I like it.
4.5 stars for you, and it's your favorite of all of the Batmans.
No, not quite. I think it falls in third place.
No, it should fall in third place based on your list. You have it as number 2.
Okay.
You have Batman 89 as number 3.
I would still agree with that. This does a better job of the larger world.
All right. Dr. John.
And I like Christopher better as a Batman than what's his name? Keaton.
Christopher.
Yeah,
Christian. Thank you. I was like Christopher Nolan's Batman.
I don't know
what movie you watched.
I like Bale better than Keaton as a Batman.
All right. Next
and
up,
as Wayne.
Dr. John. Where does this? What are your final thoughts and review?
I gave this 4 stars. It's currently sitting at number 2.
Yep.
For me, behind The Dark Knight. I really appreciated. I think I agree with all of the pacing and the bloated nature and some of the things that got not as bad as has been done in previous Batman movies, granted. but it did kind of pull some things down. Like I wasn't in the movie the whole time. I could easily sort of fall out, not like I could do with Dark Knight. And coming off of the Dark Knight, you feels like you got a little bit of a hangover. But I am impressed at how well they sort of brought it full circle. I think that was obviously a hard act, a hard task. I would not even want to try to do that. And because of that, I think that kind of weighs the film down, though. Though I do think it gave us, in my opinion, our best thief version of Catwoman.
Yes.
I decently like Bane. I would have liked a little bit more foreshadowing, I guess, with Talia.
That would have liked that
just
too.
a little bit more. But considering the heavy lift, the fact that this movie did not implode upon itself, is amazing.
That is true.
So
this could have been a lot worse. This could have been Spider-Man 3.
Exactly. If I give them 4 stars because I really appreciate the literary and the philosophical debates inside the film. I like the way they're handled, and I like the fact that they were able to bring things, but it was must have been like steering a steamliner. To make this work.
I will agree with I think both of you that I think this is a really well done trilogy. From start to finish, I think it's a really well done trilogy. It makes me think that we should do a ranking of what our top 10 favorite trilogies are.
That'd be interesting.
Be interesting to kind of see what that would be. Need to see Dune Part 3 first though before I can make that list to see how that would fit. I agree. This movie is very bloated. I actually not very bloated. You didn't say very bloated. I think there's some bloat that needs to be cut. 2 hours and 44 minutes is a bit. I think you could have probably knocked this movie down to
just wait till the Batman.
I think you could have gotten this movie down to 2:30. I think cutting some of the Miranda stuff and tightening some of the city exposition of this is the city that we're living in and here's all of this, I think could have worked a little bit better. I do think that Catwoman is fantastic. And I don't hate this Bane. It's just there are times I like him and there's times I don't like him. There's just little bits. The opening is fantastic. There's lots of little bits. However, it's not my favorite Batman movie. It's not one that I go back to often, mostly because I felt slightly disappointed after The Dark Knight because this one has a little bit of bloat issue and it's slower paced. But I give this movie 3.5, which looking at my list is actually pretty average. It's pretty much what I give most Batman movies. So I think it's a serviceable Batman movie. Again, great trilogy. Go ahead.
Can I make a point, by the way, though? So first of all, I think you could have gotten rid of the Miranda love storyline, and this would have been a better movie, right? You just make her an up-and-coming executive, right? Then the other side of this is the deaths of both Talia al Ghul's death was rough. She just
very much like her dad's. Did you notice that?
What?
Well, she just kind of and there was no. At least her dad died going down in flames, right? Yeah. She just kind of was
she wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
It was a very bad.
She was not wearing a seatbelt.
But I'm saying the acting was rough.
Yes.
And then the actual death of Bane, as I assume it's death, maybe not, was also bad. Right. The ending of the two villains was very subpar for what it for how much they were, especially Bane, for how important he was up until then. All of a sudden he just gets knocked out by guns and they're like, all right, let's keep going.
Well, this is when it shows the whole two villains or multiple villains is a danger in a movie.
Yeah, I never agree with it. It very rarely works.
We didn't mention it, but I like how Bruce gives Gordon the final clue he needs to understand who Batman actually was.
I enjoyed that, actually.
I thought that's actually a really nice little touching point. Yes, the 3.5. This is number 5 for me right now. So if you want to know my top 5, and I know it's going to be controversial, I don't give a shit. It is The Dark Knight is number 1, then Batman 89, Batman Begins, Batman Forever, and then Batman Dark Knight Rises. And the reason Batman Forever is over Dark Knight Rises is length of time, and it's more fun. If I want to watch a Batman movie, I'm probably going to go to one that's a little bit more fun to watch. That is my logic.
I wouldn't go to a Batman movie, to be honest with you.
But if you want to have fun,
you could go to next week's.
You could go to.
I want to just have a fun little movie
Speaking of next week, we're going to talk about Lego Batman movie. So that's the one we're doing next week, folks. You can find that over on the Max. If you want to check that out and watch along with us, I hope you will. You can write us at notfunnyguys.offthereels@gmail.com. That's notfunnyguys.offthereels@gmail.com. Let us know your questions, comments, concerns. Let us know, what did you think of The Dark Knight Rises? Did the twist get you? Was this your first time watching it? These are the important questions we want to know. You can also find us over on the TikTok at nfg.offthereels, over on the Insta at not_funny_guys_presents, Twitter as notfunnyguyspod, on Blusky as the Not Funny Guys. Find us over on YouTube as the Not Funny Guys, where Dr. John is going through all of news radio. He'll be doing that all the way up until the election. And then we will do an election special all about Joe Rogan. So look forward to that. Find me over on Twitter as Vash_Maxwell. Find me on Letterboxd as Vash Maxwell. Find Eric over on Letterboxd as Eckley, EKLY. Check out his ever-growing movie list. You will not be disappointed unless in between listening to this episode and the next episode, you go and check, because I promise you, nothing has changed. But that's only because we're recording a little bit early. If you stuck this far,
expose the sausage.
They need to know. They need to know. Because also, if they write an important question to us, we can't respond to it before the next episode.
That's true.
So, Dr. John, where can they find you?
You can find me over on Substack at esotericbydesign.substack.com. You can find me on Letterboxd at esoteric_Evans, and you can find me over on Instagram at esoteric_by_design.
And he forgot, you can find Dr. John over on Thinking About Thinking with Dr. K, where they like to think about thinking about things they can think about when they think. Oh, the things you could think and only you could think. It's their podcast on Dr. Seuss and their love of Dr. Seuss. One day they're going to go to the Dr. Seuss Museum that is in Springfield, Massachusetts.
No, one day we're probably going to have that crossover episode where we talk about creators and their creations.
Well, Eric and I are looking forward to talking about James Bond again, but until we have that conversation, Eric and I will actually be talking about wrestling and horror movies over on Wrestling with the Horror of It All. In the next episode, we are going to tell you our reactions to Saturday night's main event and the movie that we watched, The First Omen. And then we're also going to give you our predictions for Clash in Italy, because it's 2 weekends in a row of PLEs and they are determined to kill us. They clearly think that we have more time than we actually have.
Is it 3 in a row because of Backlash?
They've got to distract you from the Epstein
files. It might have been 3 in a row because of Backlash. That's quite possible.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. Although I got to say,
Bread and Circuses
was better than I was expecting.
By the way,
Bread and Circuses.
Second place movie of 2012. I just looked it up. Skyfall.
Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Bringing you all back to James Bond.
Back.
It all comes back to James Bond. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And as always, please remember to keep it not funny.